Hey everyone, Christy with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal, where we talk about the ups and downs of being a solo owner operator of my junk removal business. So if you like this kind of content, be sure to like the video and consider subscribing for the future content. So the job we're heading to today is a storage unit. We're actually being cleaning out 2 units. Both of them, they've already gone through and sorted out what they want to keep. And this client found us through the manager of the storage unit, where I had gone to about a month ago when doing my marketing. I went to her and asked her if I could leave some cards and flyers behind. I also asked about a vendor position, but Keep Smart usually does things in-house, or they'll just have things set up where you have to go through corporate and you do individual contracts. But that has been proven to work. When I go by storage units, I usually hear back within about a month or so of at least one person, sometimes more, and that's kind of how you build your reputation at each place that you market to. To show you one of the cool finds that we just found on job. It's from made in Germany, if you could guess, and it's a couple having cheers on a cuckoo clock, and out comes a little chicken. I think it's really neat. Tanya doesn't like it so much, so I'm gonna hang it up in the garage with all my other cool stuff. But that's not all. The weights are pine cones. They're cast iron pine cones. And I bet when there's a cuckoo, I bet they cheers their drinks too. Let me know if you think this is cool. Vote down in the comments. Would you keep this in your house, or would you get rid of it? guys, so that job is all complete. We went ahead and sorted through all the trash to pick out anything donatable, picked out any metal to scrap, and kept out anything that would be worthwhile to keep and or to sell. Did find some power tools, brand new, still wrapped. I already have them, so I'm probably just going to try to sell them. Of course, we found that cuckoo clock that I thought was pretty cool. And found some few crystal and figurines and stuff like that. So we'll probably try to sell that in a garage sale. Got about 4 or 5 totes worth of metal set aside and about a tote and a half worth of insulated wire, which is going to lead into the next topic. So because we're kind of coming up on the end of this first quarter, I wanted to go ahead and go through how much money I've made through scrapping for my own personal knowledge, and I figure I'd go ahead and share that. So quick little disclaimer, I don't do jobs where I pull in mass amounts of metal. I don't do demolition, and I don't get a whole lot of construction jobs. If I do, it's normally pulling away like drywall and tile and like cabinets and stuff. Not really getting just, you know, like someone gutted out a store and it's just full of metal beams. I don't get that. So a lot of the scrap I've had over the last 3 or 4 months has been from household use or like debris around someone's yard or wire that I've snipped from like other electronics that don't work anymore. So haven't made a super large amount here, but this has been a learning process because before this year, I had only gone to the scrapyard twice. That was for the moving company. Never found it to be worth it from their point of view because they're paying someone to load it, drive it there, wait, offload it, drive back. And at that time, they were paying like $85 a ton for metal. And I mean, this is like 5 or 6 years ago, but I was like, there's no way that's worth it financially. So I went ahead and I had a job back in December that was a clean out, and there was like 5 or 6 totes of testing wire. And I brought it to the scrapyard. I got like $90 for it. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I started learning about it. Started watching Andy Weiss on YouTube, who does heavily in scrapping and like talks about the different ways to grab it. Very informative. Check him out if you're looking into scrapping. And then I looked into a few other guys that do more like dumpster diving. I haven't done dumpster diving yet. Not totally opposed to it though. But it seems more like fun than anything else. I don't know, that's fun. Whatever. So I went ahead and added up all of my stuff. And I was typically going every Saturday, every other Saturday if I had metal. I don't think I went at all in February. So time-wise, I mean, to get there, it's like 20 minutes. To get back, 20 minutes. There, I'm probably only there for like a half hour. So altogether, an hour, hour and a half of time. Nothing crazy. I mean, it is marketing. It's like doing a ghost route every Saturday, driving up there because I have a bunch of metal in the back of the truck and it's obvious. But I'm not driving around an old beat-up pickup truck, so I feel like people actually sit there and like look at the magnets and stuff. But went ahead and added everything up. So the total amount I've scrapped is 4,151 pounds, which is 2.07 tons. And from that, I've made $392.10. Now in South Florida, to go to the dump, it is $42 per ton of trash, $68 for debris. So I found the middle mark of about $55 because they're gonna charge me for debris if they see a bunch of metal and other crap in there from like a renovation. Or I might have a couple like hidden in there from like a household clean out, so I'm gonna get charged trash. So we found the middle mark, $55. If you multiply that by 2.07 tons, comes out to $113.85. So I have made / saved $506 so far. So if we were to continue this for the rest of the year, estimate about $2,000, $2,500. Of course, if I get more proficient with it, it could be more. But I think heading into it, I'm going to focus on one thing mainly. So my most scrapped item was iron and steel. My most profitable was insulated copper wire. So I think I'm going to focus on that. When I come across it, I'll grab it, I chuck it. I don't think I'm gonna sit there and really take apart things like I did with the copier. That's more just like for fun, just to kind of learning about the stuff. But it does take a lot of mental energy and time. So I think we're gonna focus on the wire. If I cross any like copper pipes, obviously I'll keep those. Those are worth the most. And I'll only really do like iron and steel if it's like a bunch of appliances or I have a big office job or I get one of those jobs where it's just a ton of metal and it's worth doing. So that's kind of like the rundown of that. I mean, before this year, I just never thought it was really worth it. And like I mainly got into it because I was on this trash talk group, and guys were like, yeah, I make 10, 20, 40 grand a year. And I was like, you guys got to be pulling in some serious volume to be making that much. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And like, I think the reality is like, you have to pull in the volume first in order to have it, unless you're going out finding it. And it's fun. It's like a scavenger, but you know, it's time consuming, and I'd rather put that focus into like marketing or something, because I'm not great at marketing. So that's something I constantly need to work on myself. So yeah, I save money, help the environment a little bit, but overall, I found it to be more worth it. Like, let's say I got a dryer and maybe the client's like, yeah, it doesn't work. I don't know what's wrong with it. We got a new one. I'm like, okay. In my head, I'm like, cool, I'm gonna go scrap it. In reality, $6, $7 for every 100 pounds, I'm gonna get like $10 for that thing. I could probably throw it up on Facebook Marketplace for 25 bucks and say, not sure what's wrong with it, use it for parts, try to fix it, do whatever you want, 25 bucks, come pick it up. And someone will come pick it up in a couple of days, and I'll make an additional $15. I don't have to load it into my truck, drive it to the scrapyard, and offload it. So I do think there's times where just selling it super cheap, even if it doesn't work, is still more profitable than scrapping it. And environmentally wise, it's the same thing. It's either going to go there and get recycled and reused, or someone's going to go reuse it and fix it and then do whatever with that. So it still keeps it in rotation. So that's kind of what I've gotten from it. Focus on insulated wire, only scrap if it's a lot of stuff, and try to resell stuff if possible versus just scrapping it for the wiring or whatever, because at the end of the day, it's pennies on a dollar. So that has been my experience with scrapping so far, and my future with it, I think, unless something changes. But that's about what I've gotten so far. But let me know if you scrap and if it's worth it for you, and on average how much you pull in about a month, or at least if you want to go back and look at your quarter, has it been worth it for you, and what do you kind of focus on? Do you just do copper and insulated wire because that seems to be universally the most expensive, or do you just scrap anything? Do you sit there and sort through stuff like I was doing? What do you do? Let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later on this week. We're doing the clean out, well, not clean out, but we're getting a full load pickup from the property manager in Palm Beach Island, which is a very high-end area. So I will probably record that video. But we'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Bye.